So we're back and we're still here with Amelia Womack.
So Amelia, we're done grilling you now.
Yeah.
We want to know, have you got any really funny or embarrassing campaign story? Because we've all been there, we've all got lots. What's yours?
I can't think of an embarrassing one really, but maybe the funniest story was I went for a meeting with Charlotte Church, and it was originally just over a cup of tea, but then it kind of, as soon as we got there, she was like, "Oh, let's just get
Very cheeky vintage involved.
Oh, that's what she likes, yeah.
just a glass of wine. I don't know why at any point at this night we didn't actually buy a bottle of wine, because the meeting was at 5:30 in the afternoon. It might have even been 4:30. I think it might have been 4:30. And then she missed her train back to Wales. I missed a bus to Scotland.
Oh no!
And we must have gone home at about 3 in the morning, and she had to sleep on my sofa.
I love it. Love it. Crazy chick in her original glory.
Although randomly, some of my friends do come round and they sit on the sofa like, "Was this the sofa?
Oh, goodness.
Which is a bit creepy.
Oh goodness me. So is Church a bit of a Green Party fan then, would you say?
I don't know, I wouldn't want to speak on her behalf. She did at one point say that in the general election, she voted Labour, but she wished she'd voted Plaid or Green.
Oh, really?
But now, obviously, with the rise of Corbyn, then she's been very supportive of Jeremy, and in Wales she supports Plaid, which I think she's been making some very good points about the fact that the Labour Party in Wales isn't actually the same as the Labour Party in England, or the same as Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party. So I think that's quite an interesting role for her, and she's still obviously galvanising that support for the People's Assembly, which is umbrella across the party.
Yeah, I think Charlotte Church is fantastic actually for Welsh politics, and as a woman, because she is so engaged in the political process, and if only more people in the public eye use their voice like that, I think it'd be fantastic.
Exactly. And I think also just telling people where they can put their energy, because I think that a lot of times people say, I didn't vote Labour because I felt disenfranchised with Labour, and then there's no next step. And I think that that's when people then do feel like politics doesn't speak to them, because they don't see where the next step is. Like, I was disappointed when the Manic Street Preachers said that they lost complete faith in the Labour Party, because I thought that they should have said, so I'm going to vote Green, or I'm going to, and actually give people a progressive next step, instead of, I wonder, the more that people say that, the more that people don't turn up to the ballot boxes. And when we've got a problem with youth engagement in politics in the UK, I almost think that our high-profile people, celebrities, musicians, actually have a duty to be inspiring people about how to engage in politics, why to engage in politics, and if there is a political party that you engage with, what you can do about that as well.
Don't lose faith in politics.
No, all really good points actually. And do you think, talking about the young people, do you think that the voting age should be lowered to 16?
I really believe that we should lower the voting age, and that's for multiple reasons. Obviously, there's the same old arguments about tax, about the fact that you could have a child and you could potentially wait 5 years before you've even got a say about what that child's life around the military. But I also think that what's really important is that if the people at 16 can vote, it will really put the pressure on schools to provide a serious education on politics. And more young people that I speak to, this is the message I get back time and time again, is that I don't feel like I can vote because I don't feel like I know enough. And people aren't going to know enough once they've left school if that's not being taught in school, because there's no opportunity to really pick up that education unless it's actually done in a school environment.
It's interesting as well, because you look at the Scottish referendum, and of course 16-year-olds were able to vote in that, and it changed the dynamic and how people were engaging with it, and it was, you see how high the turnout was because more people would engage. Do you think it's a shame that that's not happening with the EU referendum as well?
Especially when it's far more, referendums are more important than general elections of any kind of election, because it's going to affect us for generations to come, and especially when a younger audience will tend to be pro-Europe. And I think it's really important that we are engaging that voice, because at the moment that's the rest of these people's lives. The people who typically vote to leave, they tend to be an older generation, and it won't affect them for as long as it will affect a younger generation. So I think it's really important that we do engage young people. I've seen a lot of things about engaging younger people getting their grandparents to vote to remain on their behalf. So. Hopefully, the problem with the EU referendum is we've had such a short period to debate it, especially here in Wales, because we've been so focused on the Welsh Assembly elections.
Just getting over it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Barely. Well, we don't know what we've let ourselves in for with the start of the new term.
Yeah. But it was shocking that UKIP went in talking about the EU and migration, and actually, what can the Welsh Assembly do on the EU and migration? And I think people were, all the political parties really were shy about talking about the EU referendum during the campaign, because they were two issues that don't overlap, so shouldn't really have been discussed at the same time. And I think it's certainly put the campaign in Wales back.
Absolutely. Well, fantastic. It's great to talk to you about all these different things, and we will be back with a bit more from Amelia.
More from Amelia.